Hey everybody, it's Cam. Welcome back to the channel. So it is now Tuesday, March 23rd. It's about 2:34. AMC is following GameStop down after GameStop's earnings came out. They came out about 1:30. So we'll get to GameStop in a second, but we'll start with AMC. So first thing this morning, we talked about if it could hold the $11 area pre-market. We got down to this 11.3 bounce, 11.4 held. Got in the open again, retest is 11.3. Buyers came in, pushed it up higher, but we couldn't break above 11.9. And I'll go out to the hourly and you'll see why there. But sold off that first part of the morning, came down, tested right at 11 bucks, right? So it hit 11.01. Buyers came in, pushed it back up, pushed us up to that 9 moving average, but couldn't find strength to go higher. Basically formed a little double top right here and then pushed us back down to 11 bucks, but still the $11 area held, right? So 11.02 here at 9 a.m., 11.01 here at 10:05, 11.02, 11.02, 11.03 towards the end of 10 o'clock, and then right at the 11 o'clock hour, close right down. The 5-minute candle closes at 11.02, 11.05 opens, and we drop right through 11. Where that volume base was, poked us all the way down to 10.4. Buyers came in at 10.4 into the close, pushed us higher. Got this little aftermarket squeeze. GameStop did the same thing before the earnings came out, and then once those earnings did release, we've been in sell-off mode. You'll see it on GameStop as well. But we'll go back to the hourly, and I'll show you what I'm talking about first thing in the morning. So we've been, trending under the 9 EMA, since basically Friday's close at 13.93. So just from the close now today, I did it from the aftermarket is at 10.28. But the 2 days red now for AMC is down 26% from Friday. So pretty considerable move in 2 days. But this 9 EMA's held all Monday. We weren't able to break it, and then first thing in the morning, pre-market poke above it. At 4 a.m. Can't get back above it at 5, and then at 6, right when we open, try to retest it at that 11.93, hit right there, can't get above it, and then we're still under it here after hours. So this 9 EMA in the hourly is the above resistance now going forward. So where will AMC bounce? So that's the next question of when will buyers potentially come in. So we'll go zoom out and look at the daily. So right, so we pushed through the $11 volume, right? So thought the $11 could fall quick, but increase in volume compared to the 11.5, didn't find it. We're gonna go test this $10 level pretty quick and see if buyers come in there. That's the next logical point where buyers would be, double digit area. And then if we look at past days on the chart, right, here, the week of March, 8th to 12th, right? So the 12th, 11th both have lows, 9.9, 9.94. And if we go back farther here, the 24th, high of 983, all the way back to the beginning of February, high of 997, high of 10.1. So this area between 10.1 and 9.75, so that 30-cent range, we should be able to find some buyers in there, hopefully. And that, kind of corresponds with the increase of volume, comparable to 11 bucks. And then if we can't find buyers in there, we're going to fall all the way back down into this consolidated range here, between the upper in the upper 8s, right, from 8.9 to 8.5 area. So we'll look to see if buyers can come in, but you'll see at GameStop now, like the sell-off, we're poking down pretty quick. So AMC is just kind of the reaction play, so we're gonna have to wait and see if they put out some PR, about how their movie theater chain, how their locales operated in the past week. They reported that last Friday 98% were open, so it'll be interesting to see their numbers over the weekend if they release that. So from here we'll jump over to GameStop, go to the 5-minute. We'll get to that in a second. But you see here, first thing in the morning, we try to break through that $200 area, immediately smacked by sellers, push us down. We crack below the 186 fib, or $186 area, which is a 38.2 fib, which I've talked about in my previous videos. It's been a constant area of support and resistance, hang out on it, basically through the morning, and then we sell off through it at the 11 o'clock hour. When AMC started selling off, GameStop started doing the same, but sell-off wasn't as big. Kind of get a reversal candle here, engulfing bar pushes us back up, but that 186 now acts as resistance. Can't get above it. We sell off into the close, and then we get this aftermarket indecision, a little bit of squeeze right here. We go from 177 almost up to 200, a 10% move. People just adjusting their positions before the earnings came out, because from what I saw in earnings whisper, it was supposed to come out at 105. Stuff didn't get released till about 133. But then when it did come out, we were sitting here at 197, and then as you can see, we sold off all the way down, pinged off of 151. Now we're sitting at 162. All the EMAs are well downtrending right now. So it's 22 on the 5 minutes, acting as overhead resistance. So we'll have to see how this continues to move here in after hours now. But let's zoom out to the let's go hourly first, just because we did that on AMC as well. But you can see GameSpot's been downtrending a lot longer than AMC, basically all last week. This 50 kind of held. We got above it on Friday, but couldn't get through it on Monday, couldn't get through it first thing this morning. After hour touched it again here, so this 50's it's acted as the resistance throughout last week. If we go to the daily, we'll see now, right? So we're at this 150 level. We do have a little increase in volume at that 150 level, and there's a lot of consolidation here lower, 140 and that 100 120 area that we use on the way up. So if this 150 area doesn't act as an area of interest for buyers to come in, we could drop all the way down into the 130s before those buyers come in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with GameStop and AMC going forward, right? So is the Wall Street Bets hype over with? Can this thing get pumped again? It'll be interesting to see. It's kind of a uncharted territory, because most stocks that are short squeeze plays, they they squeeze quickly and then they fade away, and then years later, months later, they put out PR, they go again, and you have your typical name list, right? Your shippers from back in the day, all the companies, low float stocks that get in with say Bitcoin, cannabis, etc. You could say the same thing for the NFT stocks right now, but they're not companies like AMC or GameStop that are well known, have numerous locations throughout the country and around the world, and actually have a somewhat viable business model going forward that makes money for them, and people enjoy using their products, especially GameStop, right? So with their earnings report, they didn't put out a guidance, but they basically shuffled up their executives. So the CCO resigned, but they brought in Jenna Owens, who worked at Amazon, worked at Microsoft, was part of McKinsey as a consultant, all doing digital platforms. They brought her on as a chief operating officer. So they're definitely, GameStop is looking at going and incentivizing that digital push into the future. And so I think it's just going to be really a question of how fast they can become competitive. Ryan Cohen's talked about making GameStop the Amazon for video games. So how fast they can become competitive. Different people were posting things on Twitter of like a leak of GameStop's Play, doing streaming services, compete with Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox Game Pass type deal, where people can just have a service to use GameStop and have access to games right there on their computer and consoles. So it'll be interesting to see what they have going into forward in the future, and whether or not that can be something that's of interest to long-term investors to push the stock higher. So, and they also brought up the point about what they should do about offering stock at these high valuations, and they said that they were actually considering selling stock at this high level. So it'd be interesting to see, different dynamic. It's not a typical scenario whatsoever. But I think, short term, the rest of the week, we might be in a downtrend fade for both AMC and GameStop. That's just my opinion. That's what I think the charts are showing. But you might have a different opinion. If you do, let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. And I'm always open to feedback. give me your thesis, your due diligence, and teach me something as well. Like, I don't know everything, nobody knows everything, and let's be collaborative. So hope you guys got something from this video, and we'll see you in the next one.